Manqoba Mchunu is following this story for us. He joins us live. So the miners not backing down. What are they saying?
Well, indeed, Shahan, the miners not going down without a fight. In fact, if anything, Shahan, they are reigniting those fires here. As you can see behind me, they're insisting that they're going to remain here until the mine management does pay their salaries, and also they want their jobs back. So they're insisting, Sean, that they're not going to move from here. In fact, we spoke to one of the miners earlier on who says that they're not going to move, given the fact that they've spent the entire December without being paid, and many of them saying they were even unable to go back to their homes, given the fact that there were no pay commitments from this particular mine. But in terms of what we know so far, Shahan, there has been a meeting that we understand has taken place here at the mine between the unions as well as some of the mine workers to try and find a resolution to this issue. But these workers, who recall, Shahan, were fired after staging a sit-in at the mine. This was in December, in early December, when they raised several issues. And one of the issues that they'd raised was the issue of poor working conditions, as well as the unpaid pensions, we understand, that were not paid by the mine to the Provident Fund of the mine workers. And what we do understand is that when the workers discovered this, they then staged a sit-in at the mine demanding answers from management. So they're saying, Shahan, that they're not going to move, and they're actually not going to leave these premises up until they get a word from management, a positive word, that is, that they're going to be returning back to their jobs. But I just wanted you to take a listen to what one of those mine workers had to say, who we spoke earlier to.
As we speak now, we don't even have money to return home. So we want the money to be paid to our account today so that we can be able to go home and then buy groceries for ourselves. Because we have been struggling. We are violating the lockdown regulations, but firstly, the employer violated the COVID regulations by firing people, by retrenching people while we were still under lockdown. The president did say himself that no one should be retrenched during lockdown. But what has happened here, we have been victimized. There's a racism that is going on in this shaft here. Like I said earlier, only certain employees, only white employees get top management positions. Only white employees are given the chance to act on other positions. When it comes to us, we are told that there is no money for us. We are not paid our salaries, December salaries. Some of our brothers here were left here, never went home. Some even on the camp, they never even received food. We had to make donations. We didn't have any money, but we had to try and make donations for them.
You mentioned this briefly, a meeting currently underway. Any hope of a resolution today?
Well, Shahan, there's no certainty at this stage. In fact, there was a report back earlier on from some of the people that had attended that meeting, and they briefed some of these mine workers at a hostel about some of the proposals that are being made by the mine. And one of those proposals, Shahan, was the fact that the mine now says that these workers can go back to work, but they will have to sign final warnings first in order to go back to their posts. But the mine workers not having it, they've rejected that proposal from management. We've also heard talk that the mine is willing for the unions to make an appeal for these workers who we know had participated in a sit-down, and as far as we know, they have to go to the CCMA to make those appeals against their dismissal. But in terms of the negotiations, the mine workers are saying that there's still quite a number of sticking points that remain in terms of those working conditions that they've raised with the mine, and the mine at this point is not meeting them in terms of those demands. So there is no resolution in sight in particular today, but there is hope from the mine workers, and especially the unions, that they'll be able to deal with this particular issue. But I just wanted you to take a listen again to what this mine worker had to say about that proposal that was made by the mine earlier on.
They are saying that before they can give us our December salaries, firstly, we should sign, all of us, we should sign the final warnings of making a sit-in on the 2nd of December last year. So the workers are not pleased with that, because the salaries that we are demanding are the salaries that we worked for before we even go to the sit-in. So he's agreeing to bring him back the things that we've asked him to bring back. But he still wants to punish us with signing the final warnings. So the workers are not pleased with signing final warnings. So like now you can see people are busy protesting because of the final earnings. So even our leave payments, he's saying that he doesn't have money. He will only give us the 14th check, which we still do not agree with the thing of the 14th check. We don't even have the medical station yet.